this story about how me and this bitch fell out, it's kind of long, but it's full of suspense.
Well, first thing I have to ask is, since this is where it all started off, I want to start with y'all on when you read the viral thread. I know both of y'all are on Twitter, and then what was your reaction? And Taylour, I'll start with you.
Yeah, so unfortunately, I wasn't a part of that moment, the period piece, 2015. I was peer pressured into getting a Twitter in 2009 and would literally just like tweet some random positive shit and log out. So I wasn't like a scroller. So I didn't know about the tweet until I found out I was auditioning for it and wanted more context and was like, holy. And I mean, it's pretty incredible. Yeah. And we're here because of it. So
seriously, look what she birthed. Riley, what about you? What was your first reaction when you saw it? And yeah, when was the first time you did see it?
Well, I was lucky enough to read it in real time in 2015 when it came out. Somebody sent it to me, and I was just like everybody else. Like, once you pick it up, you can't stop reading it. It's incredibly compelling, and her writing is amazing. And the way she describes all of these insane characters is just like, you can't put it down. So I was really happy that I was able to experience that before doing the movie.
Yeah, and now look at it later. You guys are playing a part in it, which I think is so crazy. This is like such a movie of the internet age and like meme culture and just virality. And it makes me think, like, I have to put it to Zola. I think she has like Hall of Fame top like viral moment, but just to let the internet have its day, what's been your favorite one? Like the guy of recently that was the cat with the filter. I laughed at that for like 8 years.
Oh, on the Zoom meeting?
Yes. So.
Oh no, wait, that one was in court, right?
Yeah, it was in court.
Oh my gosh.
I'm from Texas. That just spoke to me on a level like
yeah. I think didn't you say something like, I'm not a cat or something?
Yes. So that was a favorite one of mine recently. What was a favorite one of y'all's? And it can be anything. It can be random. The internet gives us so much. Riley, I'll start with you.
Oh my gosh, wait. What? Let me think.
I don't even know.
That's a really hard question. The amount of memes I get a day, like from my husband and from my friends, is like probably, and Janicza, actually. Janicza is a crazy, amazing
meme finder.
She's a great meme DMer. I think it's so hard. I get so much content every day. It's like I can't even remember like what I got this morning. But
Taylour, you got one?
I can't think of a meme off the top, but like I am obsessed with this girl, Young Barbecue, who just like makes me laugh. She kind of like lowers my blood pressure.
I love people like that.
You know Young Barbecue?
No, I don't, but I'm going to look her up immediately after.
Yeah, Young, it's YUNG BBQ.
I'm on it. Love this. I love when people give you new aspects of the internet. And I'm glad you guys brought up Janicza because, I mean.
Honestly, follow Janicza, anyone who doesn't, and also follow Zola on Twitter.
Yeah,
on Instagram.
Yeah,
you're in for a treat.
Really funny.
But I want y'all to talk about working with her because I know this from talking with folks that did Lemon and some of her shorts. She's just such, like, her spirit is just also how she directs. And there's just so much of herself that she puts into it. And I find that all the actors I've talked to that have worked with her fall in love with her a little bit. So talk about working with her. And Taylour, I'll start with you.
Yeah, definitely in love with her. I mean, I think that I feel almost like it in a surreal way, like, wow, like you must think I'm smart enough to be in your ether if you're including me, because she's just so freaking smart and pays attention to every detail and has such care and wisdom and funny experiences, and that she's able to share and express in a really special way. And she's just an artist through and through. Everything she does is just so intentional. Her home, just like, she's just a cutie pie. I don't know. I just like adore her. And I'm always like, I tease when I like have been at her house. I'm like, one day I'll be a grown woman enough to like have cute napkins like this. But I say that all to say that her deep care for just like making everything art, I feel, is like just really inspiring.
That's the thing, making everything art. And both of you have worked with incredible directors throughout your career. But yeah, Riley, what about you? What would you take away from your time on set with Janicza?
The thing for me about Janicza is it just feels like such an honor to be in a piece of her work. Like, she's such a genius, and you feel like you're in the presence of greatness, and it's exciting and exhilarating and just an honor. She's incredible, and I have only felt like that a couple times in my whatever amount of movies I've done, and she has everything's right. Everything's everything. She's everything. She's good at everything. You know, it's like the aesthetic's incredible. Her directing of actors is incredible. Her writing is incredible. Like, she's just incredible at everything. When she speaks, it's incredible. When she's giving a speech, it's incredible. When she's just talking at the dinner table, it's incredible. She's just this walking, like, she's a walking genius, and it's just so fun to like be in her presence and be a part of her film.
I love that. Living it. I'm going to talk to you, Taylour, a bit about your time with Zola, because that's so, I mean, granted, this is a fictional adaptation, but this is a real person, and it came from her, and it feels so personal. I mean, what was your time like with her, and how did you navigate that? Because I would like never want to speak to her. I'd be like, I just need to go do this and pretend you're not real. But I'm sure you guys got really close.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't get to meet until Sundance, but we talked a lot. Like, we text DM'd a lot. And we're kind of going through some similar life experiences. Like, both of our cars broke down, and, you know, having these lulls where she's been waiting for this movie to be made. And being an actor is a roller coaster, you know, it's ups and downs. It's getting to the final round and getting a lot of no's. And I think we like just leaned on one another and confided in one another. And I felt really just like blessed that she felt that I could do it, and that she was down for me to play her. Like, I had her blessing. But yeah, I just wanted to make sure, because at the time she wasn't actually as active on her Instagram presence, she didn't have a lot of videos, or like, I really only had like her TMZ article and like one other thing that I found. But I just wanted to like get her walk down and her voice and her eyes, and like, you know, it's like being just really caring of like, though this movie exists as hyperbole, like it's hyperbolous. It's like Zola's social media presence is also a character that she plays. And so in our film, like, her subdued, engaged observing is also like a big part of who Zola is and why she's so smart in real life.
Is this what you came here for, Zola?
Do it look like I came for this?
I guess I have to ask everybody this because it's where it all started, but when did you come across the viral thread? Was it just when you were reading for this, or did you see it when it happened?
It was just when I was sent the project. They sent me the script, and then they sent the Twitter thread along with it. And so I read the Twitter thread first. And yeah, I felt kind of stupid because like everyone that I talked to is like, you didn't read that when it came out? I was reading it the day that it came out. I was following every tweet as it came out. So there's so many people that were really hooked into this. And I wasn't, but yeah, you know, it was just a sort of shocking piece of literature reading that thing, bang, 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 bang.
Yeah, we all breathlessly read it. I did. Like, I got it the next day. It was very much like, oh my Lord, this is a thing. But it's like a great moment of internet virality. And as someone who knows a little bit about doing things on the internet that kind of pop off, I'm just curious if you have a favorite, like either meme or viral moment. Like recently there was the dude with the lens with the cat from Texas, and I'm from Texas, and that one just hit me in a place. Like, I will play that video over again and I will always laugh. Do you have something like that you like go back to?
Oh man. I like memes, but they go right out of my brain. Like jokes, like I can't remember jokes and retell a joke. I like them, but they go straight through. So I feel like that's me, and like memes and GIFs and things like that.
Even videos, do you have like a favorite video maybe that you go back to and you're just like, okay, if I'm feeling sad, I can pull this one up and giggle?
I feel like anytime I watch Nathan Fielder, like
Yep.
Nathan For You stuff,
Yep.
if I rewatch an episode of Nathan For You, that brings me a lot of joy.
I like that one.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting. Like, I feel like folks, when they see this, they're definitely going to make it synonymous. And of course, a lot of folks got to know you first time with Succession, but of the two characters, who do you think is in a more dangerous situation? Because they both seem to be guileless people in like nests full of vipers. But which one do you think is in worse trouble? Your character in this or Cousin Greg?
That's a really good question. They both are definitely in danger. Well, I guess the danger is realized in Zola for Derek. This is the worst. This is like the worst moment of his life. So I would say him, because he actually, I think he doesn't have quite I think Greg's much smarter. And so Derek doesn't really see things coming as clearly as Greg might, and therefore ends up, on this trip and basically goes through hell. So Greg's going through a slow hell.
Ooh, previews next season. I'm going to take that as gospel. There's another aspect, I think, of working with this, and that's working with Janicza. From everyone that I've spoken to, she's just a singular director in so many ways, just from like how she talks to the actors and sort of the way she adds her own particular style. If you could just talk a little bit about working with her and what you took from it.
Yeah. Janicza definitely is singular. She had a style in mind. She had colors in mind and costume. And the first time I met her, we had a great conversation. We really got down on all the same things in this movie that we both loved. And then she sent me her dramaturgy for the movie and all of her tonal references and pictures. I mean, sometimes I go back to that because for whatever reason, the link is still good. And it's just folders and folders and hundreds of images that she wanted to somehow convey in this movie, whether it's a tiny thing, a specific lipstick, or, blood splatter on a shirt. So she's just a really special person in that way. And so when we were on set, even though, we weren't trying to emulate a photo or something, it was like, all of that is inside of this movie. All of those intentions are inside of it.
I love that. I have to ask this one again, because this is an internet movie and you've had a moment at the early parts of the pandemic with Do You Have the Antibodies? Now that folks are getting vaccinated, as also maybe like a way to usher in this next chapter, are you going to do a remix or a chapter 2 about Do You Have the Vaccine? Like, I feel like that's the natural progression.
I thought about it, but I just didn't, it was such a fun trip, that whole Antibodies experience, going from just a video I put up that I thought people would maybe laugh at, but then it turned into a whole musical thing, and getting a deal with Atlantic Records, and like the whole thing was just designing merch. It was just crazy. And I thought
the covers, like the cover contest.
So hundreds of people sending their own versions, which are included in the music video. It just felt like that's it. And people have been listening to it for vaccine related purposes. So that was cool that it got a second life for that. But I can't write another pandemic song. I'm maxed out.
No, hey, look, you gave that to the world at the perfect time. And it was honestly like, it was like the perfect song for the perfect moment. So I like appreciate the idea of like, look, I'm not going to top this, and I'm totally out on it. And like, I'm with that. I'm just going to throw this one out here too, because this is like, I think I called it Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas on clear heels when I tweeted about it, because it's very much a crazy road trip movie. I'm just curious if you have one of those, or like a destination. Like, you don't have to give me details about all the stuff you did, especially if it's incriminating, but like, what's that crazy road trip for you?
I did a road trip where I drove from LA to San Francisco to Colorado, New Mexico, and I ended up in New Orleans. And I would just say, without going too deep into it, New Orleans you just rage in New Orleans. You can't not rage. I've also been there for bachelor parties that were incredible times with friends. And, I think I was kissing one of my friends on the mouth, like one of my buddies, like just like kind of making out with him on the street, and all of our friends around and like filming it. And we were like, we're best friends. Like, this is what best friends do. And so, it was like, I look back on that trip with that group of friends, and that is like, it just makes me feel, I don't know. You get what I'm saying. It was like one of those moments.
I'm from Texas, and New Orleans is our Vegas. So I know New Orleans is sometimes more dangerous in that respect too. So thank you very much. Though.
And to be clear, I'll kiss that friend any day, but it was better in New Orleans.
Sis, why are you tagging me in photos? You don't even fuck with me.
Sis.
Let me know.
Sis.
Let me know.
Yes, sis.
Hi, y'all. Jacqueline from Rotten Tomatoes. So excited for this interview. Janicza, I'm going to start with you, ma'am. I have to ask everyone this about when was the first time you saw the viral thread that has brought us all here today?
2015. I saw it the night of the day that it came out. I was on a group thread with 3 Black girlfriends, and I think I was on a job that day. I had to have been on a set that day. I used to be a stylist. Because I remember looking at my phone, and the image or the icon said something like 120 missed text messages. And when I opened my email, or I opened my text rather, all like 112 of those are just in one group chat, which I don't want to open because I'm like, I don't have the time to get into this. So I got to it that night, and it was in my 3 girlfriends, sending each other each of the tweets and then all of their responses. So the way that I read it was like reading the tweet and then how my friends interacted with each of them. And it was like a novel within the novel within the novel. It was like a nesting doll. And before I was done reading it, just was like, oh, I have to tell this story. I don't know why, but I'm just supposed to. I've been told, it's been sent to me for this reason.
Also, shout out to a group thread with Black women. It will literally save lives. I can tell you that for sure.
Obama's group thread all the time. I'm just like, who is in that? Right?
Seriously. Oh God, you just made me jealous instantly. Jeremy, what about you, sir? When did you come across the thread, and how was your first reaction?
Well, Jacqueline, you know this because you've seen me probably, but I am a big Twitter user. And so I was like on Twitter when it was.
You are?
A little bit.
Janicza doesn't like it because I send her all the tweets about it. So I'm like, oh my God, look what they said. Look what they said. Anyway, I'm like the opposite of that really sweet Black girl group chat. It's just like, I'm just sending tweets of which like, look at this evil thing someone said about our movie. Aren't they crazy? And she's like, why do I want to read this? Anyway, I saw the thread while it was happening, and Asia doesn't remember this, but she responded to me when I was like, I like tweeted at her, and then she tweeted back at me, and I was like, oh my God. And then it was like in the middle of the thing, I was there live watching it. And I, similarly to Janicza, went around telling all of my friends, I would do live reads of it for my friends, and in my best, like undergraduate theater voice. And they were like, Jeremy, you have to do something with this. I was like, I know, like, I really want to write it, but like, how will it ever happen? Like, I don't even have an agent yet. And then luckily I met this woman, and everything changed a couple years later.
I can't wait to talk about you two writing this together. But Zola, again, this all started with you, but I just have to talk about you in the moment of like, when, first of all, you knew this is not just like a viral thing that's going to be like a fun thing for the weekend, like this is different. And then just like, what was that moment for you just watching folks like Missy Elliott and like all of these other, like, it became like, it was like, this was the only thing Black folks talked about for like weeks.
That part was fun. I was like, okay, girl. But in the beginning, I'm gonna say while I was tweeting it, while it was going viral, because I had never really witnessed that to that extent. Like, it was like every tweet in itself was going viral. So that was different for me. But it kind of it gave me like a live audience. So they fed me a lot of energy. And that's why I kept going. I'm like, okay, I got an audience here. I can't let my audience down in the middle of the show. So that kind of helped it become what it is. And then like overnight, like you said, Missy Elliott and Jack Kay, and it was like all of the Black women who I've always kind of looked up to were like giving me a pat on the back, and I'm like, okay, I think I did something here. Like, so yeah, I loved that. I'm still in shock. I'm like, you can't tell me nothing. Missy Elliott knows who I am. You can't tell me anything.
Seriously, if Missy Elliott knew who I was, I would be exactly the same.
I would tell you nothing.
Seriously. I'm going to start with you, Janicza, too, and both Jeremy, because this is, first of all, obviously the movie is just quintessentially and authentically Black and just like has no apologies about it. But it's such a movie of the internet. And y'all did so many things to make it feel like it was when we were scrolling, and from the dings and sort of the way that people spoke in a heightened version of way you figure folks would speak with that. How much of that was on the page, and when did you guys decide to add so much of the internet aspect of it to it? And was that difficult, maybe, I think, for maybe folks to buy into? Because I'm sure some people would be like, what's with the dings?
The dings were written in, actually. There's I think it's early in the script, there was like an asterisk that was anytime a line in the dialogue is directly pulled from the Twitter thread, there will be a Twitter whistle in homage of its source material. And sometimes they're written in, but sometimes they also fade away, or they have the asterisk so that if you remember having read that slug, 40 pages ago, you'll know what that was a part of it. But it was also there really so that like when my editor read the script, when our composer read the script, that they knew that there was going to be this like sonic aspect to the film that would be woven into the narrative, even if like on the page you can't process a whistle, that there is this thing that happens after, right? Like there's even a scroll written into the script that then happens in post. Like these are editorial things, but I wanted them to be in there so that we could kind of mimic or mirror some of the electricness or the electricity of what happens within the internet and within a space like Twitter.
Yeah, and you definitely felt that. Jeremy, I have to bring it to you because, correct me if I'm wrong, but y'all were passing the script while you were still at Yale as sort of like a logic file between you and Janicza, obviously writing it together, but separately. And I just want to talk about what that's like, because in itself, it's like the script was even written over the internet in a way.
No, it was. And, I think that like thinking about like why some of the sort of internetiness was there, it kind of came from that sort of scrappiness that happens, that makes innovation happen impossible in digital landscapes, right? Because, we were doing this so far apart. There was a wild time crunch because we really, like everyone had been waiting for this movie to get started for a while. And we were getting all these insane notes all the time that we were having to process 2 coasts apart, like over the internet, over phone calls. And we're like, they say they want more energy. What is energy even? Like, how do we do this and that? And, and I think that so much of what made it feel right was us getting on the phone and saying like, but okay, when we see this scene, what will make it feel like a meme of, so I remember there were like 3 different ways that we wrote how Derek would end up like falling out of the window, because we knew we wanted it to feel iconic as it felt in the tweets. Because the thing we kept going back to as co-writers, even all of this space apart, was like, how do we make each tweet have its due? Because each tweet, like you said, Asia, did go viral. Every tweet was a tweet that like was retweeted. So lost in the sauce is not something we can just like have lost in the sauce. And I think that was the sort of manicness of our script, and the sort of innovations of our script came from the fact that I was truly still a student. Janicza was fully directing other TV shows and like doing press for her film that had just come out while we were trying to build this new thing together.
I came to dance.
No, we're done with that.